Juan Soto is on the move. The 23-year-old superstar headed to San Diego for a haul of prospects and players. What a move for the Padres. This is unbelievable. The Padres were trying to outbid the Dodgers and the Cardinals to get one of the most decorated players in all of baseball. By the way, in addition to Juan Soto, they also get slugging first baseman Josh Bell. Abrams legit, Gore legit. Related story, who the hell cares? Juan Soto is one of one when you start talking about a ball player who does it all. Look at last night's baseball game. He hit a home run in his final game for the Washington Nationals, walked 3 times, stole a base, threw a runner out at home plate. I would make the case that this is the single biggest trade at the trade deadline in baseball history, because we are talking about a 23-year-old megastar. We're talking about a ball player who's already won a World Series. Think about it. You don't have to have an educated guess how he's going to do in big spots. No. He was brilliant in 2019 en route to carrying the Nationals to a championship. An all-star, a silver slugger, a batting champion. Look, we're talking about a ball player who, to me, is Ted Williams when it comes to his batting eye, his ability to get on base. He's been compared to Ted Williams, to Hank Aaron. And how about the Padres swinging the hammer? Josh Hader yesterday, Juan Soto and Josh Bell today, and that Padre lineup is absolutely off the charts. I mean, when you consider Fernando Tatis Jr. hasn't played an inning yet this year, they're going to get him back. Look at the top 3. Tatis Jr., Soto, Machado. Are you kidding me? And this obviously is a team that has a very good rotation. Now Hader in that bullpen. Look, they had to do this because last year it was a big swing and a miss for the Padres. They were very aggressive, made a lot of moves, and it was a complete and utter failure. This year's Padre team, now with this lineup, they now have the ability to get into the postseason. Not going to beat out the Dodgers for the division, but they can wreck the National League. They can wreck what feels like an inevitable matchup with the Dodgers and the Mets in the championship series. The Padres' upside for this year and beyond is to win the World Series every single year. If you're a Padres fan, you have to be absolutely on cloud 9. The San Diego sports fan has been through hell and back. This is one of the great days in the history of San Diego sports. Juan Soto, 23 years old. He is worth the most money in baseball history. Turned down $440 million because he's worth more than the $29 million a season the Nationals offered him. And if you're a Nationals fan, let me tell you something. I feel terrible for you because you have to almost jog the mental Rolodex to remember that 2019 World Series. Everything that has happened since 2018 has been an abject failure. And remember, they won in 2019, but not signing Bryce Harper was a failure. Then they let Rendon go, Scherzer, Turner, Soto. I mean, they couldn't even run it back. It's like 2019 never happened. I mean, and they gave, Mike Rizzo did, he gave Steven Strasburg, a contract awarded him after the 2019 World Series. Everyone knew that Strasburg, listen, ton of talent, can't stay healthy. Why would you ever, if you're Mike Rizzo, pay that guy? Made absolutely, positively no sense. This, if you know a Nationals fan, find him, find her, give him a hug. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you're a Nationals fan, you might as well just, change teams. The Nationals can't exist. Bag it Washington. Fold the franchise. Sell ice cream. Get out of the baseball business. What a complete and utter joke. And I don't want to hear, oh, they got prospects. You lost. You lost with Harper. You lost with Rendon. You lost with Scherzer. You traded Trey Turner and now Juan Soto. You traded 23-year-old Juan Soto. This is a complete and utter top top to bottom, abject failure. You don't trade Ted Williams meets Hank Aaron when he's 23 years old. You know what you should have done? Pay him whatever he wanted. What an absolute disgrace. This was embarrassing, pathetic, and every Nationals fan knows absolutely predictable. Congrats to San Diego. This is a day to celebrate. If you're a Nats fan, I feel sorry for you. Pretty significant news today as the NFL has fined Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross $1.5 million and suspended him through mid-October for after an investigation into his club's role into tampering and tanking allegations. The league found that Ross and other front office members violated its anti-tampering policy by having impermissible talks with Tom Brady and former Saints head coach Sean Payton dating back to 2019. Roger Goodell informed the team of the punishment today and said the violations are of, and I quote, unprecedented scope and severity, end quote. The investigation also concluded that the Dolphins did not intentionally lose games during the 2019 season, as former coach Brian Flores accused them of earlier this year. Miami will also lose its first-round pick in next year's draft and a third-rounder in 2024. Team Vice Chairman Bruce Beal was also fined $500,000 for his role in communicating with Brady. This is a fiasco. This is a mess. And honestly, I think Stephen Ross got off lights. And make no mistake, losing a first and a third round pick and getting fined and suspended, relatively speaking, it's a rather steep penalty. But I believe there is a case here for Ross to lose the team. Tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton for years? Plural? Credit my guy Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk for being all over this story. And while the NFL says it concluded that the Dolphins did not intentionally lose games in 2019, there's a line in the NFL's findings that I've read about 1,000 times since this news broke. I want you to read this and listen to this. This is a direct quote from the National Football League. On a number of occasions during the 2019 season, Mr. Ross expressed his belief that the Dolphins' position in the upcoming 2020 NFL Draft should take priority over the team's win-loss record. You know what that's called? Tanking. That is called tanking. That is called the owner wanted you to play to lose the game. That was during, if you remember, the tank for Tua period. That was exactly what Brian Flores alleged in his lawsuit. The owner wanting you to lose over winning is a rather significant deal. Saying it out loud is a huge deal. That impacts the integrity of the game. And Flores clearly wanted to win over tanking, and then, bam, what do you know? A couple years later, Flores, in my opinion, wrongly fired. And how about Stephen Ross's statement today? I mean, this is a joke. He took no responsibility. Totally tone deaf. No accountability. Completely clueless. This statement is, frankly, Stephen Ross in a nutshell, thinking he's above it all. He was tampering with a rival when Tom Brady was with the Patriots, tampering with the greatest player of all time, tampering with the future Hall of Fame coach and Sean Payton. He wanted to lose more than win. Is anyone else following this? Everything that was reported and alleged, confirmed. The Dolphins tried to cheat to get a new head coach and quarterback. The owner asked out loud about losing. I mean, it has been a lot of lean and dark years in Miami since Dan Marino retired. Today is the darkest day of them all. Ross shouldn't be defensive. He should be thanking his lucky stars. He still owns the team. Jacob deGrom returns for the Mets tonight, and this is only everything. First time Jacob deGrom has pitched for the big club all year, hasn't pitched in over a year. Jacob deGrom, when right, is the single best pitcher in baseball. And if Jacob deGrom can be Jacob deGrom, the New York Mets are the favorites to win the World Series. It's that simple. Now, we'll find out in terms of August, September, how we feel going into October. But these numbers from last year, I mean, look at that ERA. I mean, that's not that you forget, but this guy is unhittable. And by the way, Max Scherzer, who beat Washington last night, sensational. And the rest of the Mets rotation is strong. Mets are on a 7-game winning streak. We've talked about it all year. The Mets, to me, one of the best teams in all of baseball. Alonso, Lindor, Marte's had this unbelievable knack for the big moment. Buck, Showalter, the way that this team is buttoned up, they have a great ability to come back and win games. Diaz has been so great closing games out. If deGrom can get back to that form, the upside for the New York Mets is to win the World Series and have a parade in New York City coming up in October. More news from Major League Baseball, where my guy Aaron Judge hit his 43rd home run of the season last night. He's on pace for 67. He is on pace to have the most home runs in a single season in Yankee history, in American League history. What he is doing right now, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at the numbers, look at the pace. Bag it Barry Bonds, bag it Mark McGwire, bag it's Babe Ruth. And look, 61 is that big number for Yankee history with Roger Maris. And, you know, Judge is on fire. And the way he's been hitting that baseball over the last 14 games, absolutely breathtaking, absolutely ridiculous. He is locked in. The Yankees won their 70th game of the year. And look, they want that 1 seed, obviously, because you don't want them, if you're a Yankee fan like me, to have to go to Houston in the ALCS for Game 6, Game 7. I don't think they could beat the Astros in Houston in an effort to go to the World Series. Give the Astros credit where they deserve it. But Aaron Judge, let's call it like it is, having an offensive home run season for the ages. Awful news you could use from the NFL, where the Cowboys could be without wide receiver James Washington for 6 to 10 weeks because of a foot injury. Oh, this is brutal. Washington, that was a kind of really solid under-the-radar move for Dallas in the offseason. So good, so reliable, and you knew it right away, right? So good, so reliable in Pittsburgh, and this is heartbreaking for him. And frankly, after my guy CeeDee Lamb, you don't have anything, because Michael Gallup's on the PUP list. And, you know, I know they like Noah Brown, but I mean, what are we talking about here? And this kind of ties in with Ezekiel Elliott from yesterday's show and getting back to form and helping out Dak Prescott. And also, big picture hits home just how paper thin the Dallas Cowboys are and why I think it's the Philadelphia Eagles' time to shine in the NFC East. More news from the NFL, where Trevor Lawrence says Travis Etienne looks better now than during his time at Clemson. Remember, he's coming off that foot injury from last year. Didn't play it down, Etienne, as a rookie. And this guy was unreal when he was Lawrence's teammate on the collegiate level. So that's some big-time news you could use if you're a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Doug Peterson said that neither Etienne nor Trevor Lawrence will play in the Hall of Fame game against the Raiders coming up this week. No surprise, but I'm telling you right now, I think that Peterson's going to turn this thing around. I think Lawrence is going to live up to the hype and expectations, and he's going to have an amazing season. I think the world of Travis Etienne, and I'm telling you right here, right now, do not sleep on the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence this season.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.